Hi everybody, this is day 27. So I'm done with my shift at the library. It's not too much hard work. I volunteer at this library which is local to me. I do love libraries though. Libraries is awesome. I remember when I was younger and I used to live in India, and libraries in India were completely different deal. You had to go through jump through hoops to get the library membership. You had to get somebody to, guarantee you as well, which would be usually a stranger like a gazetted officer or sometimes a doctor. And then if they guaranteed your form, then you would get the membership. It wasn't hard work, but we always had to find somebody. And I used to be like, you got 3 books for a couple of weeks. So I used to borrow my friends' cards as well, and I used to have like 9 tickets, and I could go and get 9 books at a time. And that used to be fun. Yes, it was non-transferable. I still did it. I'm a rebel. Don't rat me out though, okay? And there was another library that I really there was another library in my life that I remember very vividly. That was the best job of my life. That was an actual job, not volunteering. And that used to be the best job in the world, because and that used to be the best job in the world because I was amongst books. It was fantastic. I used to work it was just like a normal easy job, library assistant. You had to, bring up the books and file them and help people find books, things like that. And my section was political science. It was not the most interesting to read, but the next door, like on the same floor, was the Hindi section and the English section. Used to read quite a lot of books from there, and there was I got introduced to metaphysics from there, and Bertrand Russell. Didn't know who he was until I went and looked in the metaphysics section and found some names like that, and learned Italian, some few words of Italian from there. It was just fun. It was so good because it was a government job, so sometimes you got time to read a little bit as well. Just keep an eye that the boss is not coming, but if you didn't have too much to do, if you didn't have any books to put away, or if there was nobody asking for your help. But it's one of those things, people say that you don't realize what you have until you lose it. But in that job, I knew what I had. I loved that job, but it was a temporary job, so I had to leave it. It was only for 6 months, and my section officer, she asked the main librarian to make me permanent, but wasn't happening. It was a government department, so there were rules and regulations that had to be followed. What the fuck? Am I? Yep. So I did a good enough job that my section officer asked the main librarian to make me permanent, but that wasn't happening because their temporary people used to do the work and permanent people pretty much nothing. So they needed somebody to do the work as well. But that job did change my life. And you would hear me say this many times, that this thing changed my life, that thing changed my life. But that is usually true, because sometimes these things, even the small things or small events, they act like catalysts. See, it helped to go to school and study science, because now I can say words like catalyst. But these things, sometimes they trigger something, and that leads to better things, and that leads to a change in your life. So that library, by the time I was working in the library, I had given up on my academic career. I was stupid. I was thinking okay, so here's what happened. I was recording that whole message outside the library, and I went through the whole thing, told you the whole story, but then Osmo Pocket decided to not cooperate. When I went to turn it off, it, on the phone, that circle that just kept rolling and rolling. So lighting is going to be very interesting here. So I lost the last part of that recording, so I have to do this again while I'm on the way to my friend Zicky's wedding anniversary party. Okay, so here's what I was telling you. By the time I started working in that library, I had already given up on my academic career, because I had already completed my class 12 with no great honors, and I had botched up my graduation very badly, like the bachelor's degree. So by the time I was completely, perfectly, absolutely sure that I was too stupid to finish graduation, and I was not going to be able to finish my bachelor's degree. So I had given up. But going to that library every day for 6 months, it was a temporary job. So in that 6 months, I saw people who were studying, who were doing their MPhil, doing their research, and surrounded by books, surrounded by students, surrounded by all these academic people. And I felt like, oh God, I have to try again, at least one more try. I have to try and see if I can do the bachelor's. If not in something great, then at least in arts. Yeah, that's how the standard works in India. But if I had not hung out in that academic environment day in, day out, I would not have felt that inspiration, the motivation to go and try for that same thing again. And then I would not have done so many great things that I did later in life, because for pretty much everything, for the job that I did in the big companies, you need graduation, you need the bachelor's degree. For coming out of India, you need a bachelor's degree. All those things I would have missed out on if I had not taken that decision based on the motivation that I felt from that environment. And this is the message from this, that what company you hang out in, what people you keep around you, what environment you hang out in, that matters a lot, because that will lead you into different directions in your life. So you have to be very careful what people you hang out with and what people you listen to and who you let into your mind to shape your thoughts, because those thoughts are going to lead your life. Does it make sense? I'll leave it here. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. This is day 27, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.